I know this is going to sound unbelievable, but every word I'm about to say is true, or at least, true to the life I woke up into. My name was Ian. A perfectly ordinary 24-year-old guy, living with my dad and my stepmom in a slightly chaotic but functional blended family. And then one morning, everything changed. I remember the exact moment my life split in two, before and after the spell. I jolted awake to a strange tickling sensation running down my spine, like tiny sparks dancing under my skin. At first, I thought it was a dream. The room looked the same: beige curtains, half-open laptop, the faint buzz of the ceiling fan. But something felt wrong. My breathing sounded different. Softer. My chest felt heavier, tight against my t-shirt. I sat up slowly, heart pounding. And when I moved, something brushed against my neck, long, silky, impossibly smooth strands. My hair. What the? I stumbled to the mirror, but halfway there I stopped, because the moment I moved, I felt the breeze touch places on my body that weren't supposed to exist. My steps grew unsteady, panic rising. I grabbed the edge of my dresser and forced myself to look up. And then I froze. A girl stared back at me, wide-eyed, trembling, her lips parted in a silent gasp. Her hair cascaded to her shoulders in soft, dark waves. Her cheekbones were sharper, her chin delicate, her eyes unnervingly beautiful. I reached forward. She reached forward. My fingertips touched the mirror, but the reflection didn't break. "That's me," I whispered. My voice, soft, lilting, feminine, echoed around the room like a stranger speaking through my throat. My breath caught. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. What happened to me? I felt lightheaded, grabbing the table for support. My chest rose and fell rapidly, unfamiliar weight bouncing with each breath. My waist curved inward, my hips flared out subtly. My hands shook. Even they looked smaller, gentler. This wasn't a costume. This wasn't a prank. This was real. Every inch of my body transformed. My pulse spiked with a mix of shock, fear, and a spark of something I couldn't name. But before I could process anything, the door creaked open. "Ian? Are you awake?" My stepmom's voice. Calm. Soft. Familiar. I panicked, backing away from the mirror. She stepped inside, wearing a knowing smile, too calm for a woman who should have been screaming. "Oh good," she said, clasping her hands. "It worked." "It worked?" My stomach dropped. What did you do to me?" I whispered. Her eyes softened with something between guilt and amusement. "Sweetheart, I didn't hurt you. I simply gave you what you never allowed yourself to explore." I shook my head aggressively. "No. This isn't real. I need to fix this." She walked toward me slowly, her presence oddly steadying. "Magic reveals more than it changes," she said quietly. "Everything you feel now is something deep inside you that you never let yourself see." "I didn't ask for this," I snapped, but the moment my voice cracked in that higher, trembling pitch, tears welled in my eyes. Her hand rested on my shoulder gently. "You're safe," she whispered. "And you will understand. But first, breathe." I didn't breathe. I ran. I sprinted down the hallway, bare feet thudding against the wooden floor. My breath hitched with every step, too light, too soft, too unfamiliar. My heart hammered against my ribs, and my newly long hair whipped across my face, blinding me for a split second as I barreled toward the living room. I just needed space. Air. Something normal to cling to. But the moment I turned the corner, I slammed straight into my dad. He stumbled but caught me by the shoulders. "Ian? What's going on?" I heard shouting. His voice faded the moment he got a clear look at me. His eyes widened. His jaw slackened. I felt the blood drain from my face. "Dad, I can explain," I blurted, though I had absolutely nothing to explain with. He blinked at me, completely stunned. Who are you?" "It's me," I cried. "I'm Ian. Something happened, He pulled his hands back slowly, disbelief twisting his expression. "This is a joke, right? Some kind of prank? Where's my son?" My throat tightened painfully. "I am your son." The moment the words left my lips, in that soft, feminine voice, he flinched like he'd been slapped. Behind me, my stepmom appeared, exhaling a long, prepared sigh. I told you this would be difficult, she murmured. Dad's face flushed with anger. What did you do to him? She stepped forward calmly. Nothing harmful. I cast a revealing spell. A gentle transformation to show the truth he's been hiding from himself. Dad stared at her like she'd lost her mind. Magic? What are you talking about? Put him back. I can't, she said softly. Not until. Put him back. His voice cracked, trembling with fear more than rage. The room spun around me. This wasn't helping. None of this was helping. I need to go, I whispered. My dad looked at me, eyes desperate. Just wait. I can't, I choked. And then I ran again, past the couch, past the dining table, straight toward the front door. My stepmom didn't chase me. She simply said behind me, voice calm and strangely warm. You can't outrun yourself forever. But I didn't care. I flung open the door and stumbled outside, blinking in the morning sunlight. The cold air hit me instantly, brushing against bare skin in places that had never been exposed quite like this before. My oversized t-shirt stretched differently over my chest. My shorts hung looser around my hips. My hair blew wildly in the breeze. And then came the stares. Mrs. Connor from next door paused mid-sweep, broom dangling in her hand. A man walking his dog slowed, eyebrows raised. A couple of kids playing cricket stopped, watching me run like I'd escaped from a movie set. Heat flooded my cheeks. My arms instinctively crossed over my chest. God, was this what it felt like to be looked at? I ducked my head and kept running, toward the end of the street, toward anywhere that wasn't home. I didn't know where I was going. All I knew was that if I stopped, the tears threatening to spill would finally fall. After 2 blocks, my lungs burned. I slowed to a shaky walk, wiping my eyes with unfamiliar delicate fingers. Every move I made felt wrong, yet weirdly right. Every sound, the click of my nails against my phone, the swish of my hair, reminded me that I wasn't in my old body anymore. My mind whirled. Why me? Why a girl? Why now? And then the most frightening thought hit me. Why wasn't I as horrified as I should have been? Because beneath the fear, beneath the panic, something else was bubbling in my chest. Curiosity. Recognition. A strange, dangerous sense of fitting into myself in a way I'd never imagined. I swallowed hard. No, I can't think like that. I need to fix this. I pulled out my phone, nearly dropping it because my hands were smaller than before, and opened the front camera, half terrified, half compelled. And the girl in the screen stared back again. Breathlessly beautiful. Lost. Scared. But undeniably me. I whispered, "What is happening to me?" A voice behind me answered. "Hey, are you okay?" I whipped around. A stranger stood there, late 20s, backpack slung over one shoulder, concern etched on his face. I froze. Great. The first guy to talk to me like this, and I was barely holding it together. "I'm fine," I said quickly, too quickly. He frowned. "You look shaken. Did something happen?" I took a step back. "I'm really okay. I just need to go." I turned to leave, but his voice followed gently. "Whatever it is, take care of yourself, all right?" The softness in his tone hit me unexpectedly. And for a moment, a terrifying, disorienting moment, I felt seen. Not stared at. Seen. I swallowed hard and nodded. Then I hurried away before he could say anything more. By the time I got home, my legs were trembling. I slipped quietly through the front door. The house was silent. My dad was gone, maybe at work, maybe avoiding the situation entirely. My stepmom sat at the dining table, waiting patiently, a cup of tea in her hands. She looked up. "Feel better?" "No," I muttered, slumping into a chair. Her eyes softened with sympathy. "I know this is overwhelming." "Overwhelming?" I laughed humorlessly. "I'm literally a girl. A girl. Do you understand how insane that is?" "Yes," she said calmly. "Because I used to be exactly where you are." I stared at her, stunned. "You, what?" She smiled sadly. "Magic saved me once, too." Old memories flickered like trapped moths behind a dirty window, fluttering just out of reach. I didn't want to look at them. I didn't want to remember even the shape of them. But they pressed harder, slipping through the cracks in my denial. Her voice softened, patient. Sometimes we bury things so well, Beta, we convince ourselves they were never there. I swallowed hard. My throat tightened painfully. She wasn't wrong. And that terrified me. I'm not like you, I whispered. I never questioned who I was. I never wanted to be this. She didn't argue. She simply motioned toward the chair I'd jumped out of. Sit. Please. You're shaking. I hadn't even realized I was. My hands trembled as I slowly lowered myself back down. The long hair brushing my shoulders made me flinch. My changed body pressed differently into the seat. Everything felt foreign. My stepmom studied me with that gentle, knowing look she always had, the one that made you feel like you were being seen past your own words. You don't have to accept anything right now, she said softly. You only need to breathe. I can't breathe, I whispered. It feels like everything is closing in. My dad, he wouldn't even look at me. And you're telling me this is supposed to be some truth about who I really am. Tears burned behind my eyes, hot and humiliating. This isn't fair. No, she agreed quietly. It isn't. That acknowledgement alone nearly broke me. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The only sound was the faint hum of the refrigerator and my uneven breathing. Finally, she stood up and opened the cabinet above the sink. She rummaged through it for a moment before pulling out a small, deep blue velvet pouch. She placed it gently on the table between us. Inside something faintly glowed. This is the spell you were touched by, she said. A revealing charm. Not permanent. Not irreversible. My breath caught. So you can change me back. Yes, she said. But the spell won't reverse until you understand what it revealed. Not accept, just understand. My heart thudded painfully. Why does everything have to be complicated? Why couldn't you just ask me? Her expression darkened with guilt. I'm sorry, Ian. Truly. The magic answered a question I shouldn't have asked on your behalf. I stared at the pouch, emotions swirling like a storm inside me. Confusion. Fear. Anger. And beneath all of it, a soft, fragile curiosity that scared me more than anything else. I finally whispered, "What do I have to do?" She sat again, folding her hands gently. For today, nothing. You've been thrown into the deep end. You deserve time. I don't know how to be like this, I muttered. I don't even know how to walk right. People stared at me. My clothes don't fit. My own voice, it sounds like someone else's. Her smile was warm, almost comforting. You are not someone else. You are still you. Just changed on the outside. That's easy for you to say, I murmured. You've been living like this for years. She nodded. And I had help. Guidance. Support. You won't go through this alone. I leaned back, letting my head fall against the chair. My hair slid forward, framing my face. I pushed it back awkwardly. It was surreal, like living inside a dream my mind hadn't agreed to. My stepmom reached over, brushing a stray strand behind my ear with gentle fingers. You don't have to like this. You don't have to want this. All I ask is that you explore it. Safely. Slowly. Explore what? I demanded quietly. She paused, choosing her words carefully. What it feels like, to be you in this form. To see yourself without the boundaries you always kept around your heart. I looked away, hugging my arms around myself. Everything she said made me feel exposed, raw, vulnerable. I'm scared, I murmured. I know, she said softly. And being scared is normal. Transformation, real transformation, is never easy. A silence settled, heavy but not suffocating this time. Then she added gently, but fear means there's something here worth discovering. I shook my head slowly. I don't even know who I am anymore. She smiled sadly. Then maybe, this is your chance to find out. Her words lingered in the air, wrapping around me like a quiet spell of their own. And despite everything, the panic, the disbelief, the fear, a tiny part of me, buried deep, whispered something I wasn't ready to admit aloud. What if she's right?